Loon Dog. They're sleeping on you. They're sleeping on you, Loon Dog.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, since March 29th, the Warriors with the third best defensive rating in the NBA. Maybe they're just peaking at the right time. Now, look, Portland on Sunday, that was a complete win. Friday, that wasn't a complete 48-minute win. Against OKC on Tuesday night, that wasn't a complete 48-minute win. Wasn't a complete win against the San Antonio Spurs a couple of Fridays ago. And, when they played the Pelicans, they played good for the second half. So they've yet to put really together long stretches of success, right? 48-minute basketball games. But the last 2 weeks, everybody's talking about the Warriors' defense. Well, since March 29th, Warriors got the third best defensive rating in all the association. Sounds like they're playing better defense. And why? Because Gary Payton II's back.
Is that too small of a sample size?
It is a small sample size, but everybody in the NBA turned it up over the last couple weeks.
Okay.
And I would say,
and also
maybe
that's
since
when
the All-Star
GP2
break
came back.
Yep, exactly. So,
because that's where I struggle. All of these regular season statistics and everything everyone's throwing at me, it just doesn't feel like it correlates to what we're going to see over the next 2 months.
I'm with you.
Like when you watch playoff hockey, you and I aren't big hockey guys. It's very different from the regular season.
Very.
The Florida Panthers, I'm going to go real. This is showing my depth of knowledge. The Florida Panthers played a certain style of hockey, and they won the President's Cup, okay, which was the best record in the NHL.
90s?
This was last year. And then they made this crazy trade because they lost in the first round. They got beat by, I believe, the Tampa Bay Lightning, and they made this crazy trade to just change up the way they play because they realized what we did during the regular season has zero carryover into the playoffs because it's so different. It's so different. Now,
I thought you were going back to like when they had this goalie name. I think it was Van Wiesbrock or something like that. And whenever they scored, they would throw rats on the ice. Do you remember that? Mid-90s?
Oh, yeah.
Looked at Spinoni, looked this up. They would throw
do.
fake rats on the ice, Florida Panthers, 90s.
Well, but I think the same can be said for the NBA, and sometimes it's not as stark, but you do see this a lot. Like the Atlanta Hawks, I always use as a reference point. Certain Rockets teams, when James Harden was the main guy without CP3, like those teams felt very hollow. They felt very regular season-esque, and then come playoff time, it didn't feel like that was the recipe to win. I think that you can make the same argument in the NFL when you watch some of the Lamar teams. You're like, it's great for the regular season, but when a team truly has the time to game plan against you, I'm not sure if that's sustainable come playoff time.
Yep. Hey, look at this. You're right about that because there's a switch, and you have regular season teams.
Exactly.
You see it in football all the time. You see it in football all the time.
You see it in baseball a lot, too.
Baseball. You get hot. And like the Rays, I will be worried about them because in the playoffs, they've come up short with situational hitting, not sticking to their pitchers, not letting their starters go long, not having a set closer. Well, I think that plays a factor into it. They're throwing guys in different roles every single game, and that kills them in the playoffs.
No, that's a good point. And like when you're looking at 162, or even 82 in hockey and in basketball, you're able to tinker with a lot of the lineups, and you're trying to gain margin over a long period of time. In a small series, little tiny advantages. Yes, they help, but like it's not as gigantic, and people can adjust because it's only a 4, 5, 6, 7 game series. So I don't know. I feel like all this regular season talk for the Warriors, no other team in my lifetime can I think of where the regular season meant less.
Yeah, the Warriors
Invitational.
This team. They wait for the. Steve Kerr has told you for the 2 straight years. For us, it's just about being healthy and peaking at the right time.
Yeah.
Draymond Green and Curry have told you over and over and over again, we just want to get into the top 6. Does home court matter for us? Not really. We've won a road game in 27 straight series. 27 straight series. They've won Game 7s on the road. You know what I'm saying? They've clinched championships on the road. 2015. All right, 2018. All right. Last year in Boston. They've clinched championships on the road. 2018. I think the whole regular season road record thing, watch, you're going to see this team fully healthy, peaking at the right time, and they're going to be a different team in these playoffs because now they know, all right, after everything that happened, because for a champion, and we've seen this before with championship teams, the regular season does get tedious. Number one, the Warriors are getting everybody's best shot early on, right? When the Warriors come to town, you go to Orlando, you go to Charlotte, you go to Detroit, you go to all these different areas, and that's their championship. That's the game that everybody's selling out. Those are the tickets everybody wants. They're saying, we got to go see the Dubs. We got to go see the Dubs. You're playing in front of packed houses. And Steph and Dre and Klay and the rest of the squad are sitting there thinking, it's just another game in December. But these other cities act like they're playoff games. That's their playoff game. That's their NBA Finals game. But I look at the team at home. I look at the Warriors at home at 33-8 in Chase Center, and I think that's a reflection of who they really are. I really do. A top 10 defensive team, a team that's going to bury you with three-pointers, a team that's going to play bigger than their size. And so I do think they're going to flip the switch in this playoff run. And Sacramento's the perfect launching point to start this run. They are. It's a reason why you, Sacramento, were the marksmen. You had the target on your backs. Everybody wanted to be in that sixth spot. Teams are losing on purpose to try to fall to six to play you. Why? Because you haven't been here before. And when Saturday tips off, you're going to find out that there's levels to this. There's levels to being a championship team. And they'll find out quick, fast, and in a hurry Saturday night.
Well, and also the NBA, it humbles you because if you look back at the history of the league, anytime you think a team is rising up, they have to stub their toe before they can get over the hump. That's just the way the league is kind of set up because of that playoff factor. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
Isaiah Thomas, Michael Jordan, go through the outside of Magic, his rookie year doing what he did. Very few people actually push through their ceiling on their first run. LeBron didn't do it. Right. Steph Curry certainly didn't do it. Giannis certainly didn't do it. I'm trying to use some of the more recent examples. Even Kevin Durant didn't do it. So, to think that De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis are going to do it, that feels like a stretch too.
No, it does. It does, no doubt. Let's go to the calls, man. 888-957-9570. What's going on in the chat, man? There's always some fighting going on in the chat. Always. Oh, the haters are in the building? What up, haters? What's up, haters? I love the haters. They hate listening to this show. I love it. It's the playoff run. Get ready for Warriors basketball for the next 2 months. Andre, San Francisco. What's happening? You're on the roast. Andre, what's happening?
Hello.
What's up, Andre?
Hey, man. What's happening, Bonte? Hey, Shafi. Check it out, man. A lot of people is not realizing that Mike Brown did not win until he came to the Warriors. He left a contract in L.A. and a contract in Cleveland he was getting paid for. Until he came and got the game from Kerr, he didn't start winning. That's how he got the coaching job in Sacramento. So a lot of people underestimating how Kerr coaches in these playoffs. I think that's going to be the X factor throughout the series.
925. Good call. 925. Superstars rule in the playoffs. The Warriors have many. The Kings have none. Warriors in 5.
Well, I would call De'Aaron Fox a star.
I agree with that.
He's a star.
An ascending star.
Yeah, and he's legit. He's legit.
No, the Warriors have one superstar in Steph Curry.
Yep.
By resume, they are stars, which is a level down.
Right.
I have like a tier thing, like Dre and Klay.
Right.
Not sure if I would say that they are currently quote-unquote stars, but I mean, on any given game, you could get a 40-point Klay game. You could get one of those triple-double signature defensive moments. Like, how many times last year in the playoffs, before we got to the Boston series, did you go, Draymond was incredible tonight without leading the team in any category?
No, he was. He mentally takes you apart. He picks you apart. The Klay Thompson thing is interesting because when he does have a rough game, we're quick to point it out. As a fan base, as a media, here in the Bay Area media landscape. But I think, again, I brought this up probably every single week now since February. It's pretty remarkable that he's out there on the floor playing at this level. And that when he does have a bad game, the vitriol that comes his way, oh my God, he's chucking. I get it. He does chuck. He does. It drives me crazy sometimes when he does it. But I think Kings fans too are like, oh, Klay Thompson, he's washed. We got red velvet. What? Like, do you guys realize what Klay Thompson's doing this season? He's had one of his best offensive seasons. Now he's shooting a lot more threes, but that's fine.
So you didn't listen to Steiny yesterday?
No, what was Steiny talking about?
Well, if you took out his 4 best shooting nights, he actually had a career low in shooting.
Oh my gosh, is that what we're doing?
It was interesting. I'm just saying it was very interesting to hear it. I'm not.
You know what? I did hear you quote that on KC and D-Lo. Yeah, I did hear that. I did.
That's good. That's good.
I did hear that. I did hear that. I did hear that. Now let's just go through March, okay? Klay Thompson.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying Steiny's
You brought it up on KC and D'Lo.
Well, no, I said Klay's having a great year, but I found it to be interesting because I just heard it on Steiny and Goo.
Let's go to the numbers.
You know, when someone puts out great content that's unique and has an angle that I hadn't thought of,
that's fine.
I want to, bring it to the light. Doesn't mean that I agree with it.
That's fine. But again, you guys are failing to put respect on Klay's name. March 2nd, 7-16, 11 rebounds, 19 points, Klay Thompson. Warriors beat the Clippers by 24. 29 minutes, 47 seconds of action. He shoots 44% from the floor, 3 of 8 from the three-point line. 7-16, a little less than 50%. But you take the 19 and 11, wouldn't you? All right. Back-to-back. Klay says, you know what? I'm playing on the back-to-back. And they won the back-to-back. March 3rd at Chase Center. 10-17, 4 of 9. 3 of 4 from the free throw line. 27 points, 4 assists. Pretty damn good on the back-to-back. Klay Thompson's first back-to-back, right?
Yes.
8 of 18 against the Lakers. They lose by 8. Steph Curry's first game. They go to OKC, lose by 9. He goes 9-17, 5 of 13, 23 points. That was backed up by 22.9. Memphis, nobody played well. He was 6 of 14. They got blown out in that game. They come back home against Milwaukee. He shoots 50%, 8 of 16, 4 of 9 from the three-point line, 22 points. They go play the Phoenix Suns. Klay Thompson, 14 of 23, 38 points. Remember, we had a 30-point half? 8 of 14 from the three-point line. Then you go lose to the Clippers, 6 of 16, bad game, 15 points. You lose to the Hawks, bad game, 6 of 14, but you still grab 11 rebounds, but you score 15 points. 6 of 17 against Memphis. Nobody played well. You got blown out. All right, that was March 18th. Then we go to March 20th against the Rockets. Everybody lights him up. He goes 29-7, 11-21, 4 of 9 against Dallas, 9 points, 5 rebounds. Didn't get a lot of shots because Dallas loves to get the splash brothers on the three-point line. Just going through the game log. March 24th, 7-17, 21 points, 5 of 17. 6 of 16, 11 of 18. Looks like to me a pretty damn good month. Now, if we want to look at the splits.
But he's always been streaky.
He's always.
That's why I kind of push back on.
But see, we do this with Klay Thompson. What about Stephen Curry?
Oh, you
want to start picking apart his games?
I mean, he had a couple of bad ones that they lost on the road down the stretch.
Nobody's saying Klay Thompson is still elite. But there'd be 29 teams lining up for his services.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, I think that come playoff time, he's going to have at least 1 to 2 Klay games per series.
Yeah, and he's going to have clunkers. And he's going to have clunkers.
But he's always been that way.
He's going to have always.
Yes.
So why we come down his road? What are we doing? What are we doing?
Well, I think, Steph's untouchable, and so I believe that you got to find different angles to kind of look at the team, and people are looking at him.
Steph's had 8 of 23 games, 11 of 21, 8 of 28, 5 of 15, 8 of 20. He has a clunker. 8 of 21. He's had some clunkers.
I agree.
All of a sudden, let's pick apart games. Hey, let's take away these 5 games from player X and look at the rest of the numbers. I mean, come on. We could do that in football with quarterbacks.
Oh, of course. Take away this touchdown pass.
Take away the 20 touchdown passes he threw within the AFC West, and now look at his numbers.
Well, we see that with Raheem Mostert. Take out that 75-yard run, and he only averaged 2.1 a pop. It's like, well, yeah, but he had the 75-yard run.
So he can't defend at an elite level, Klay Thompson. We get it.
Nobody's evolved.
We get it.
His game's evolved.
He had a damn good season.
No, he had a great season. I would argue that his season, coming off of the injuries and everything that he did, it might be the greatest comeback in Bay Area sports history.
I think it is.
Of injuries. Like Navarro Bowman, I held in a very high regard. He wasn't as good as Klay was this year.
No.
And that's just the reality of it.
Klay Thompson.
I mean, what even comes? Dave Dravecki was a great story.
Yeah, but nothing on Klay.
He wasn't like this.
Nothing on Klay.
Joe Montana coming after back surgery and then becoming the MVP, that's pretty damn good. But even that took a couple of years.
So, January, Klay Thompson. 46% from the floor, 43% from the three-point line, averaged 27, 4, and 2, 35 minutes. His best offensive month in his career. Third best offensive month, came in February. 45%. 45% from 3, 45% from the floor. He gave it 20. How much did he average? 25.5 points per game. I mean,
the 910 is asking, Bonte, what NBA playoff series did the Warriors win a Game 7 on the road? Tell me. I'm listening.
The Houston Rockets Western Conference Finals. Do you not remember that one? Do you remember the elimination game in Oklahoma City, Game 6? Elimination game? You were down 3-1 in that series? You remember that one? You remember Game 4 and Game 6 against Boston? Down 2-1? Season on the line, down 7 midway through the fourth quarter? And the Warriors come back and win that one, didn't pop champagne on Red Auerbach's grave? You remember that? Come on, man. Let's go.
I'm getting another personal text here, and it's actually from the man of the day.
Who?
Steiny.
Oh,
he said,
boy.
Don't forget about 2012 Posey, MVP comeback player of the year after shattering his ankle.
Wow.
Great call.
Steiny paid attention to baseball.
I mean, when you get here 5 hours early to prepare for your show, Steiny's rocking and rolling.
He's here right now?
No, he's listening to the best show in the Bay Area right now.
You said that, not me.
Well, I mean, the numbers.
Tip, right? Well,
the numbers tell
you
that.
said that, not me.
We're like the 2023 Kings offensive
here, I'm going to make sure that
we're the best in the business.
Folks, that's Joe Shasky saying that, not Bonte Hill.
Well, you know what it is?
Because Bonte Hill gets all the vitriol for everything that happens on the show.
No, it's the people
public
that
entity
have
number
meters.
one.
No, it's the people that have meters that are making us the number one show.
You said it, not me.
Well, those are facts.
I just said we're doing numbers.
We are.
I don't say number one, number two, number three. I don't do that.
Doing numbers, and I got to give a quick shout out because they're all going to be in the car right now. Carl's Beacon, 12U, gold. Oh, man, we were killing it last night. I think we scored 16 runs. We no-hit this team last night.
That's
the poor
good.
Panthers. Cody hit 2 bombs.
I can't do it if we take out this game. Then he had a bad month.
I just found it to be interesting.
Hey, you used that on Casey and D-Lo. Don't act like you didn't use that. No, I don't care. We know how you feel about Klay Thompson. I'm not going back down that road. Things get a little tight around here when Klay Thompson's name comes up. I just, and I say this again. I said it the other day, and I'll say it again. For a fan, just as a fan of sports teams, a fan of your team, would Yankee fans be running Klay Thompson? Well, maybe, but. They didn't. But you know what, though? Like, seriously, for a guy who has embraced the community just as much as Stephen Curry, who's had, Stephen Curry's moment was Game 4 last year in the NBA Finals. How many moments did you could say that Klay Thompson had probably more memorable playoff moments.
I just think this is a straw man argument. I don't think anyone's running him out of town. I think they were saying, like, shoot a little better during a specific period. Like, come on, that's all. No one was running him out of town. And then when you throw out crazy trade proposals, like, you got to give to get. So if you want a Giannis, you got to give up something. You got to match up salaries. No one was saying you're running him out of town. We're doing like crazy hypotheticals.
Man, it's Klay. This guy's washed. The conversation about him coming off of 2 gruesome leg injuries. The guy came off of 2 major injuries. Helped you win the championship last season, and now we're picking apart every single game. Let's pick apart Steph's game. Let's pick apart Jordan Poole's game.
How would you rate Steph's season this year? Of on the Steph caliber, not on any other regular player.
He gave you 36-6 and almost weighed 50-40-90.
Yeah, but he missed almost 30 games.
Yeah, but he still gave you
I agree.
Numbers.
He was an elite.
You can't help injuries. Injuries happen. You know what I'm saying?
Was
injuries
this season better than last season?
He gave you 36-6 and damn near went 50-40-90.
I'm just asking.
As a team, no, it wasn't better.
No,
individually, he played better at times.
I think he was more efficient because after the 3-point record last year, it felt like he was searching the rest of the year during the regular season. No?
Man.
Didn't it feel like he was off for like a month and a half?
He was off for a long time.
I'm talking last year. After he broke the record, it felt like his shooting was
struggled.
off a little.
He slumped hard.
That's what I'm saying. I actually think he was better this year, even though he missed a lot of time. I actually think he was more efficient this year.
Yep. See, everybody brings up the money with Klay. You want to feel sorry? I'm not feeling sorry for Klay Thompson. I get that he makes $43 million, but I also get that the contract was given to him before the Achilles tendon injury. It was given to him based, hey, he's got the ACL injury. We're going to pay Klay. He'll be out a year. Nobody saw the Achilles coming. Nobody.
No.
And by the way,
the fact that he's back and he's doing what he's doing, it's blown me away.
Right. It's blown everybody away. Not only that, but the Achilles injury, because DeLon Wright was in that practice when he tore his Achilles. And the reports were Klay was looking better than ever. And then that happened. It was a major setback, man. So forget the money. I don't care about the money. But if there's anybody worth it in a Warriors uniform, considering how bad this franchise has been, and considering that he's one of the pillars for your 4 championship rings, hell, I don't care about $43 million. Deserves it for what he's done in that uniform. Doesn't loyalty matter in sports as a fan anymore? We pick and choose all the time now. If we can't be loyal to Klay Thompson, we can't be loyal to anybody in this Warrior uniform.